fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I am live. Forgive me of my tardiness. I had to cancel my last live stream regarding Martin Bakole because I had some things to do, had some errands to run. Let's talk about Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole is now a twice beaten fighter. He hasn't got the fights that he's always wanted. And he took a fight with Joseph Parker. And people noticed a few things about Martin Bakole, which we're going to talk about. Martin Bakole was overweight. Martin Bakole was not in shape. Martin Bakole can be hurt. Martin Bakole, I think he took the loss well. I do think he's kind of a big, jolly, gentle giant, so to speak. I think Martin Bakole, I know he'll be back. I just hope that this won't affect his overall performance or hunger for the sport, because, I don't think it does. I hope he remembers why he got his ass on that plane, because Martin Bakole is a guy that I feel that hopefully he learned a lot about himself that day. Okay. He learned, first off, that I'd rather walk and talk. He learned a lot about himself. I mean, he learned that sometimes when you got your mind set on something, that doesn't always mean it's going to work out. But one thing I want to talk to you guys about Martin Bakole is sometimes you can get in your own way. He wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared. Oh, snap. There we go. Okay, so he wasn't prepared. He should have been prepared based on what could happen in the future. I know Ade Oladipo did a nice breakdown on Martin Bakole. I think Martin Bakole, Keith Johnson, what's up, brother? He came in at 310, too big, dropped back down to 278. Yeah, I think 270, between 270 and 280 is a good weight for him. But honestly, a stomach doesn't benefit anybody. The last person that I knew that was beneficial with a stomach was George Foreman. And, I don't think that actually helped him. I just think he was just older. Martin Bakole has no excuse because George Foreman was in his 40s when he had that belly like that. He got a George Foreman belly. Zilli Zhang, he's 41 years old, about to be 42. So, those guys kind of warrant or earned a belly to that magnitude. Martin Bakole hasn't earned a belly like that. He's not old enough to be walking around with a tub stomach like that at 33 years of age. He's not even 35. So if you're not 35, bro, you can't have a belly. I know genetics is a mother sucker and all that, but that doesn't really matter. 432HZ. First like, bro. Appreciate you, man. He did well with it. Made a lot of quick cash. Nah, I don't think you want to make that type of quick cash. Guys that make that type of cash are guys like Michael Hunter, Lawrence Akoli, Derek Chisora. Guys like that. Not potential guys that want to be champion in the near future. I don't think he should have took that fight. I don't think he should have took that fight at all. I think he should have just hung out and chilled out and kind of skipped that fight. But of course, I think he's around a lot of snakes. You know, I think everybody that's around him are out for their own benefit. I don't think that they really want his best interest. I think they wanted, and they were opportunists, so they saw an opportunity and they took it. You know, ask Skip, big up, brother. Counterpunch today. We're talking about Martin Bakole. You know, and the things that he needs to work on. He needs to work on his conditioning. He needs to work on his diet too. I don't know what the hell he's eating. You know, and I'll tell you this much about Africa. Him being big in Africa is not a bad thing. In fact, you know, I dated a couple African girls, and the saying is in Africa, if you're big, that means you got the money to eat, you know, because you got a lot of challenges and struggles in Africa, right? So when you see somebody chunky like that, being a big thing, a big person is not a bad thing. Well, in the ring it is. Andy Ruiz Jr. had a belly though, but yeah, I mean, Andy Ruiz had a belly, he had titties, but understand, Andy's like 5'11", 5'10". So, I mean, Martin Bakole's 6'6". Okay? That dude had to be doing a lot of eating to get to that point. And especially if he let himself go after training camp, shame on him. Seriously. Bakole should fight Andy Ruiz. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But you know something? Andy Ruiz is a dangerous fighter for anybody. Especially a fighter like Bakole. Because Bakole has shown a weakness. He can't take temple shots. You know, just like Dillian White can't take uppercuts, he can't take temple shots. So those temple shots are a mother sucker. You know, Andy Ruiz can't help it, dude. If you're that short, you're going to be a certain, and you eat like that. He was always a fat dude. Andy Ruiz was fat. Andy Ruiz was short. Therefore, if he was that short and fat, he's going to look that way. He's not going to look like Anthony Joshua because his build won't allow him to. That's just genetics. Martin Bakole could work out. Martin Bakole could get in shape. You know why I know that? It's because 4 or 5 years ago, Martin Bakole was about 250, 245. He looked nothing like he looks now. So you can miss me with that. You can miss me with that. It seems like to me, Martin Bakole made enough money to eat well and to spoil himself and to become undisciplined, unlike that person before he got beat by Michael Hunter, right? So he may not get those big, huge fights, but he's got enough money and made enough money to eat well and to get comfortable and to not discipline himself. Andy Ruiz looks like he's lost that belly fat, but when his next fight to actually see. Well, one thing about that is I feel that Andy Ruiz may not be better off being a small fighter, because remember him in the Chris Arreola fight. Chris Arreola was able to hurt him with a punch to the temple. And Chris Arreola's not known to be a heavyweight fighter, but I'll tell you this much. Chris Arreola is a heavyweight, just like Joseph Parker was. You know, who's the toughest fighter you think is right now? The toughest fighter? I don't know. It's hard to tell, man, because I think we're going to find out who the toughest heavyweight is now. Why? Because we're getting more fighters. We're getting more fights. We're going to more different challenges now. Unlike before, matchroom fighters only fought matchroom fighters. Queensberry fighters only really fought Queensberry fighters. And then the fighters that weren't in with Queensberry or matchroom, that's the only different variety of matchups that we're going to get, that we were able to see. But mostly that's what it was. You know, the AJ versus Dillian White. Dude, we've seen that shit too many times. They've been trying to make that whack-ass fight forever. I do not want to see AJ versus Dillian White no more. I don't want to see it. You see what I mean? These redos, these rematches. Derek Chisora is probably the toughest to me. If I was going to say anybody is the toughest, is Derek Chisora. Why? Because Derek Chisora has fought everyone. And he ain't afraid to fight nobody. He's fought Otto Weiland. He's fought Joseph Parker. He's fought Tyson Fury 3 times. He's fought Joseph Parker twice. You know, he's fought everyone. Joe Joyce, Dillian White twice. I mean, if I was going to call someone the toughest, I would say him. And I don't mean the toughest means the best the person that can take the best punch. No, the toughest person is the person that's willing to get their ass in there and fight anybody, regardless of if they get knocked out or not, because that's happened to Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora's been knocked out a couple times, you know. However, he's did some knocking out too. The Spilka knockout. What's the African fighter's name that he knocked out? I want to say Claudia, but it's not Claudia. But look, he's knocked a lot of guys out. But that Spilka knockout was crazy. And the way he busted up Otto Weiland, he did a better job than Anthony Joshua, but don't get it twisted. Anthony Joshua is the reason why Otto Weiland's face is the reason it is now, and he had 2 surgeries. Okay, he had 2 operations. He had one on his nose and one under his eye. An orbital broke bone in a nose. And look at his nose. The dude got a damn nose like a conquistador. This guy. But Carlos Takam, Ed Ellerby, that's it. Look how he knocked out Takam. He knocked out Carlos, and people thought he was going to lose to Carlos because Carlos is a sturdy, big guy. You know, that's why I know Martin Bakole can punch, because Carlos Takam can take shots, bro. Even though Carlos Takam, I think, could have lasted, they've spared him more of a damage from just stopping it, because, you know, the AJ fight was stopped, the Joe Joyce fight was stopped, the Martin Bakole fight was stopped, but you know, he was getting hit. I think that AJ fight stoppage was too quick though, because that should have continued, you know, because he, you know, sturdy guys like that he has. Carlos Takam reminds me of a fighter named Keith Mullins. If you guys can remember Keith Mullins was a super welterweight. He was the guy that knocked out who did he knock out? I forget his name. J. Roos Theory. KD dropping that boxing knowledge. Man, I'm trying. I'm forgetting. Abel Sanchez. Who's the guy back in the day? Terry Norris. There you go. I don't know why I couldn't remember Terry Norris. But he knocked out Terry Norris because he simply hasn't been knocked out before. You know, back then, they didn't stop fights like that. You know, a lot of people gave me stick about British refs. You know, British refs stop fights easy. They stop them too easy to me. Bakole fought better at 255 compared to now. He took punches from Anderson, but Jogba throws solid punches. Yeah. I think, if anything, a Jogba could be a banana peel. You know, I mean, because, see, you don't know what type of damage Bakole actually took. You know, being out of shape like that. I have a surprise for you guys. You know, I've been talking to my man, Michael Hunter, the American heavyweight, the most avoided heavyweight. Now, it's not Martin Bakole, because if that was the case, we would have seen Michael Hunter before we seen Bakole, because Michael Hunter beat Bakole. The only person that beat Michael Hunter is Alexander Usyk, which is now the unified heavyweight champion of the world. So, I mean, you have to look at the reality of situations. You know, there's people that are promoted and there's people that are blocked. Michael Hunter's one of those people. But that being said, I think that Michael Hunter knows a lot about the boxing game, and he is coming to the platform to educate a lot of people about boxing, how things work, how camps work, how they select sparring partners, all the good stuff. Hunter is avoided because he isn't fighting. No, that's bullshit. Because let me remind you guys of something that makes no sense. Do you remember Hunter's last fight that he was supposed to have? Who did Michael Hunter supposed to fight? Chisora is my favorite active heavyweight. He's always entertaining. That face-to-face with Wallen and White were hilarious. Yeah, he told Dillian White, he called Dillian White the donkey. Who's the donkey? Who's the donkey? And splashed that water in his face. I think Chris Eubank Jr. was taking notes from Derek Chisora. Honestly, I think Bakole has damaged his ability to negotiate for a bigger payday for future fights with this joke of a fight against Parker. Mario Maru. Well, let's hope not, but I think that narrative, let's hope that's not true. But then you have to have some type of respect for yourself, because him taking that fight, you may have a point. It made him come off looking a bit easy, if that makes sense. It looks easy, like, yeah, I'll go do that. I'll do that for your excellency, a couple million, yeah. You know, that's all it takes. But you're taking on somebody that's a former champion, that's in shape, that was ready. He wasn't the one that called it off. It was Danny Dubois, and we all know what happened to Danny Dubois recently. If you guys don't know, check out the video. It's on the channel. I just posted it today. The full breakdown of what happened to Daniel, right? He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, the IBF heavyweight champion of the world. That being said, you jump your ass on a plane just because somebody asked you to, doesn't mean that that's the best idea. It doesn't mean that that's the best idea. And I'm glad someone said Huey Fury. Joey, real gamer, appreciate that. It was Huey Fury. Why didn't that fight happen? That fight didn't happen because Huey Fury pulled out twice. First, he said, I had some type of illness. Second, he said, I had long-term COVID illness. So ask me now, is Huey Fury fighting? Yes, he's fighting, but it's not Michael Hunter. See, they knew better than that. That's not Michael Hunter's fault. Now, Michael Hunter, there are some things that I feel personally that he shouldn't have done, but at the same time, what he didn't do wasn't what Mark Bakole done. Mark Bakole himself took a chance and didn't need to take that chance. Okay, that's not Mark Bakole. I can't blame Bakole for taking that payday. Well, hey, what's done is done now. But I think now in the future, moving forward, Martin Bakole should watch his weight. You know? You coming off that couch shit, bro, that's not cool. Because what happens if it's for a title shot? Which, you know, if Turki Al-Sheikh owes Mark Bakole, and if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to do right by Mark Bakole, I would say, go ahead. I would say, you know what? Give me that opportunity. Let me do what I can do. Because Turkey owes Mark Bakole. You know, and if I was that, I would want, and if I was Turkey al-Sheikh, I would tell him, if I've lost my position with the IBF, I would plead with the IBF that, like, listen, I fought for a payday to save a bout. That was a very serious bout because your champion was too sick to fight. I fought in place of your champion. Therefore, you should give me my position back. You should give me my ranking back. Let me fight for that number one. Since I'm fighting him anyhow, that's how I would look at it. He didn't have an official weigh-in. Yeah, they weighed him in. They did all that shit when he got there, which was kind of tacky, to be honest with you. You know, he had a couple interviews. He was tired as shit. He only laid down for a few hours, if that, because he got there that morning, bro. Because I remember when he came in, it was at least maybe 8, 9 o'clock my time. So you jump start 8, 9 o'clock. That's like 6 in the morning. So he got to Saudi Arabia about 6 in the morning. He got there about 6 in the morning. Exactly. Bakole fucked himself in the long term. He could have rejected the offer from Turkey. You're only as good as your last fight in this game, bro. Yeah, well, let's hope not. You know, and here's the thing. This also tests the integrity of Turkey. You know, he did it for Turkey, so it means Turkey needs to do something for him, and it better be more than a fucking payday. See, everyone's talking about, oh, he took the money, he took the payday. That's not the reason, and that shouldn't be for all the marbles. That shouldn't be for the, you know, hey, because if that was the case, if it was just for the payday, you better pay me $7 million. That means you're paying, if it's just for the money and nothing else, that means I have a say in the matter, right? I get to call some type of shot. I got some kind of negotiation because you need me. You need somebody that's going to pass the medical exam. You need someone that's going to, you know, not pop dirty, not piss hot. You know, you're going to need someone that's actually going into a fight that has everything together. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it better be more than money, because if it's more than money, give me more money. Shit, I mean, if that's the case, everyone's talking about this payday shit. I'm like, bro, that wasn't that type of money for him to say, you know what? I don't need to fight for the championship no more because Turkey has paid me. Haha, no. This wasn't an Andy Ruiz payday when he fought Joshua. This wasn't a Jarrell Miller payday when he fought Daniel Dubois. It wasn't that big. This was maybe, what, $1.3 million, I think it was? And $3 million's good to normal Joe Blows like us. You know what I'm saying? But the prize fighters that got to pay taxes, and the shit got to be chopped up and divided and you know what I'm saying, and separated by, you know, between Billy Nelson with his greedy ass and, you know, and then Ben Shalom. So you got Billy and Ben, B and B, doing a number on him. Then he got to pay taxes of wherever he's from. So I'm thinking that's probably Scotland too, since he lives in Scotland. Is Scotland like the UK? You guys know, just like us, taxes is a motherfucker. Who likes to pay taxes? So that $3 million is not really $3 million. That's not really 3 mil. That's more like 1.6 mil when he gets through dividing it and paying taxes and all that shit. I heard it was 4 mil somewhere. 4 mil's not bad. But again, do you think that's worth the heavyweight title? Do you think that's worth that, being the heavyweight champion of the world? No. Just for a favor? No. Because if it was like that, like, listen, we really need you right now, Martin. I know you're in a good position, but you're going to lose that position fighting for this. So what we're going to do for you, we're going to give you $8 million, $6 million. That's worth it. Because at that point, even when I pay off everyone, I still got 3.6 3.7 mil. After I pay Ben, after I pay Billy, I still got that amount of money. I still have it. So I'm good. I'm good at that point. It's not any shit like what he got. And then everyone's saying, oh man, you know, he just did it for the payday. I believe Padley also got a house as extra payment for a fight. Well, hey, Padley's good, man. He's an electrician. That dude's used to going check to check. He's used to going check to check. So he's good. He got a big fat ass check that ultimately probably added up to, I don't know, shit, 30 of his checks. So no, I'm not talking about Padley. Padley's good. Padley reminds me of Joe Smith here. You remember, you know, guys know Joe Smith, the light heavyweight, the one that knocked Bernard Hopkins out the ring. Fight Sports Talk, big up, bro. Big up, Fight Sports Talk in the building. Big up. The way it was all arranged just stuck off immediately with Bakole versus Parker. Turkey is also questionable with the Adames versus Shiraz scoring. That fight was Adames. Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about that for a second. Turkey Al-Sheikh. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh is human. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh, and I think a lot of people, he's human. So he's gonna do shit like that. He did what benefited Shiraz. Shiraz is from Saudi Arabia. He's from Saudi Arabia. So yeah, he did what he felt he needed to do to keep his ass, the pressure on. Now, did that affect the scorecards? I'm not sure. Because, I mean, the fight wasn't that bad. It wasn't like Erislandy Lara fighting fucking Paul Williams. It wasn't that bad. You know, I think Adames won, but I think Shiraz didn't fight him like he fought these other guys that he knocked out. You have to keep that in mind. Shiraz was been knocking people out. So they say, not him, not Shiraz, they say that he was hurt, like his right hand was hurt. But you know how that goes. Maybe sometimes you don't want to say you were hurt, so you get somebody else to say that you were hurt type shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure on that one. But I can tell you, Shiraz didn't fight like he normally does. And if we have any issue, Adames, he deserves a rematch and give him more money. Hell, Turkey got a lot of it, right? Give him more money. Give him more money to fight Shiraz in Florida. Or let's do this. When Canelo fights Terrence Crawford, throw Shiraz versus Adames 2, or should I say Adames versus Shiraz 2 on that undercard. That's how they should do that. It was good for him, like 395,000. Oh yeah, 395,000 pounds. Oh yeah, absolutely. Shit, that's like $400,000. Shit, I would take that. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, so everything else will be yours. Aaron Hoffman dropping biblical knowledge. Counterpunch to you, Aaron. Custer and Chips. Siraj broke his hand early in the first, Brick Top said. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ricky Torre. Mark Bakole, sacrificial lamb. Same body type like Tony Tubbs, demolished the prime Mike Tyson. He did a little dance like him after he got hit. Well, here's the reality too. If Mark Bakole would have knocked out Joseph Parker, nobody would be talking about this shit at all. Nobody would be talking about the payday. Nobody would be talking about his size. And that's the reality of it. You know? But since he did get beat, we have to look at the reasons he got beat. He got beat by a guy that was in shape. He got beat by a guy that was more prepared than him. I don't think necessarily better than him. But I want to share this with you guys too, okay? About Mark Bakole. And a lot of people, I haven't heard anyone else talk about this. Mark Bakole, I think, besides his weight, besides his conditioning, I think he lost because of his ego. That's right. Karma. Think about it. You got a guy like Martin Bakole. I knocked everybody out. I've sparred everybody. I've beat up everybody. I can stop everybody. I have stopped everybody. Alexander Usyk, I stopped him. Daniel Dubois, I broke his nose twice. Joe Joyce, I beat him. Anthony Joshua, I showed him the business. I've beat all these dudes in sparring. Nobody's better than me. Me, says Martin Bakole. It was almost to the point, really, because I'm like, well, dude, who is this funny talking cat? When I first heard Martin Bakole, I was like, dude, shut up. When I heard it, I was like, shut up. But he kept saying it. I mean, he kept saying it, and he kept saying it, and he kept saying it. And the first thing I thought of was, well, damn, dog, why are you talking about what happened in sparring? Because sparring is the baseline. That's the platform for practicing. So if you're practicing, that's what sparring is. Yeah, you're really getting hit. Yes, someone has died sparring. Facts. In Australia, a fighter has died sparring. He got hit to the stomach. He never recovered. Internal bleeding, and he died. That's a fact. So yes, sparring is a serious thing. But what goes on in sparring, everyone knows, for all types of decency of the game of boxing, the sport of boxing. That's something you don't talk about. If you have common decency, you do not talk about what happened in sparring, and yet this man has been talking about everything that he did in sparring. So let me ask you guys something. If someone like that comes in, what kind of what's the word? What kind of example is that placing on people? What kind of example are you setting? Talking about what you did to Joe Joyce, talking about what you did to Anthony Joshua, talking about what you did to Daniel Dubois, talking what you did to Alexander Usyk. And now, mind you, Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk are two champions right now. And then Martin Bakole is supposed to wipe the floor with them, right? So that being the case, that being said, it's like, okay, you don't supposed to do that anyway. So when I first heard Martin Bakole say this, I was like, okay, you're full of shit, because you shouldn't be talking about this anyway. Because that's something that's supposed to stay in training camp. You were paid to spar for these fighters to prepare them or yourself for a fight, right? That's sparring, okay? They brought you in, trusted you, and I don't know if they signed an NDA. I don't know. Maybe Joshua made him sign an NDA. That's why a lot of those fighters like Joey DeWaco and guys like that, I get Cabello, they don't talk about what they did with AJ. They might have rung AJ's bell. They might have gave him a concussion. They might have dropped him in sparring, but they don't talk about it. If you notice, I get Cabello's probably one of the nicest boxers that we have on the scene today. Him and Joseph Parker are the nicest fellows you ever want to meet in your life. They don't have bad intentions. They don't have malice. They don't have like this deceit. They're just nice, happy people. God-fearing guys. You know, Joseph Parker being a Christian, I just go to church with my girls and my wife. You know, I'm happy, right? A happy guy. I get Cabello, inshallah, we can do things, make it happen. I don't trash talk. I hope the best. Maybe the fans will want to fight. I'm just happy. Yeah, they're happy people, okay? Now, meanwhile, Martin Bakole, man, I've knocked in that, man. I've knocked these guys out in sparring, man. And I just say this. So that type of example was already set. So he already crossed the line. So he was a line stepper. Martin Bakole was an habitual line stepper because he habitually talked about what he did to these fighters that are champions right now or former champions in the sport. Unlike himself. Okay? Unlike himself. Now, that being said, he kept talking about this stuff, and then he got an opportunity because I didn't see the Carlos Takam fight until later on. I didn't see that fight, but I seen the Jared Anderson fight, and we've seen Jared Anderson show up and show out on many occasions with different guys. You know, Jerry Forrest, which gave Zilly Zhang problems. You know, he wiped the floor with Jerry Forrest. I mean, he gave that guy, a bag full of honeybee punches. Bees, bees, bees. He let that bag out on his ass, right? Okay. Mark Bakole destroyed him like he was some kind of uncle whooping his nephew's ass because it's his nephew disrespected his mom, you know, which is what was the sister of the uncle. So the uncle came in and whooped his ass. That's what it seemed like. He gave Jared Anderson a backyard ass beating. And it looked so natural, and he did it so effortlessly. He did it with very little effort. He whooped Jared Anderson, an undefeated fighter, a fighter that ESPN was backing, Top Rank was backing this kid. That's why Turkey wanted him, because Bob Arum, you know, we got this kid, his name is Jared Anderson. They call him the big baby. He's tall, he's flashy, he's fast, he's quick as shit. He knows his boxing IQ. Turkey, you gotta meet this kid. Come, hey, Jared. Jared, come over here. Come meet Turkey. You know, and he had some charisma. He had some personality. He wasn't this dull-ass kid. He was charismatic. So they were like, you know, Turkey was like, you know what? Yes, that's fine. Let's put him in with a challenge. Let's have him fight Daniel. No, not Daniel. No. Let's have him fight big guys. Big. I want big. I want big. You want big? I want big guys, Bob. You want big guys? I want big guys. How about Martin Bakole? Oh, shit. Yeah. We'll give you $5 million. Hey, Jared, what do you say? Well, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for $5 million. Yeah. I'll take $5 million. It's good with me, Turkey. Look, I'm going to make him a fried turkey just for you. Just for you. Right? That's what ended up happening. Bob Arum, well, then he pulled him aside. Hey, kid, I don't think you should be fighting that big bastard. That fucker's from the Congo. Don't worry about it. I got it. I got this. I got this. And the rest is history. The rest is history. So, then people started looking at what Mark Bakole had to say after we seen him do what he did. Then we started looking at Mark Bakole like he was like, man, I told you I knocked these guys out, man. They don't let me film. They know these guys say I lie because, you know, just talking all this stuff. Okay? So then we have the introduction of Mark Bakole, the last king of Scotland. Now people understand. But then I think it's a common rule that all of those guys that he said he beat, if he didn't beat some of them, I mean all of them, he beat some of them. Some of those guys he tore into that ass, no did he? And people never really said anything too bad about Martin. They're always, you know what I mean? If you look at it, look at AJ. Look at Alexander Usyk. You know, look at Tyson Fury. They're all smiling with Martin Bakole like he's some fucking celebrity after these sparring sessions. And listen, that didn't come from not getting the best of that fighter. That came from getting that fighter's respect. That's where that came from. So, IBF Bakole actually said that he had a hard sparring session with Parker. Well, Parker should be respected because, see, that's what happens. And Parker's been telling people. Let's look at Parker for a minute. Parker, good guy, bro. I always liked Parker. You know what I mean? It's like, it's with Parker, I think, he just wasn't, I'm sorry, he just wasn't AJ. He just wasn't Deontay Wilder because he was that champ. Think about it. You had Wilder, AJ, Charles Martin, and then Vladimir Klitschko because Vladimir was still around. But Vlad was fighting for the WBA. He fought Anthony Joshua for the WBA. He came up short. Fighter of the year, 2017 in April, I believe, or March. Joseph Parker beat Andy Ruiz, an unbeaten fighter, a very talented fat kid that had quick hands, slow feet, and a fat gut and tits. He beat him in his backyard. It was a good fight too. That wasn't an easy fight for Parker. Parker had to move all night and box him all night, because once you decide to trade with Andy Ruiz, you might have had your last trade, because Andy Ruiz will catch you with something to hurt you. You know, so the only thing is his last fight with Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's probably has the best chin in boxing right now. The best chin, bar none. He probably has the best chin. He's 300 pounds. His ass is solid. I don't think he can punch hard, but I think is enough weight behind his punches to harm you over time, over accumulation. He doesn't have to throw them heavy at you. It's like Martin Bakole. It's just Martin's faster and more accurate with those chopping uppercuts. But Jarrell Miller's punches, when they punch you, you feel them. He just doesn't have the form, I think, to throw those punches hard. He does throw haymakers. He can punch. He's just not known to be this knockout puncher, and that's okay. You don't have to be that label to knock people out, Joseph Parker. Think about it. Joseph Parker wasn't a knockout artist, but he knocked out Bakole, and he beat Zhilei Zhang, and he knocked the shit out of Deontay Wilder. And here's the thing. He didn't stop Zhang, nor he didn't stop Wilder. So why is everybody giving Wilder so much shit? He was the one that... Joseph Parker, I seen Joseph hit Wilder harder than he hit fucking Bakole. Am I right or am I wrong? Did Joseph Parker hit Wilder harder than he hit Bakole? One for yes, two for no. Did he hit Wilder harder? One. Or did he hit Bakole harder? Two. Let's put it that way. Bryce Productions, hi. Counterpunch to you. I think Parker hits harder now than that. So, two. I don't know. What makes him hit harder than that? You think the weight did it? Because, I mean, hey, it's debatable. You know what I mean? It's all a debate, people. Yeah, but Bakole was off the couch. Yeah, okay. Ask yourself this question. Wilder wasn't off the couch? Think about it. When was Wilder's last fight? Wilder didn't fight. Wilder fought Joseph Parker in December of 2023, didn't he not? Okay. When was the fight he fought before that? He fought half a round against who? Listen, to be fair, I don't think any of them had a full training camp for Days of Reckoning, because the turnaround was too fast. But I get what you're saying. He had a longer training camp than Martin Bakole. I get what you're saying. But I'm just saying the punch that he hit Wilder with, right? That shot was like, damn. He hit Wilder so hard. And like the way he threw that shot. Wilder said he was in the best shape of his life. Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? Yeah, he said that shit, but I don't know how true that is, because I think mentally he was screwed. Tellis Givens was on him. Tellis Givens was on his mind, was knocking him upside the head with them court orders and them restraining orders and those child support orders. That's what was bothering him. And them texts from them other men that she was seeing. That was wrong with, that was what was wrong with Wilder. You know? That's a hell of a thing, man. He was with I got a lot to say. I'm kind of sick now, to be honest. Because back in, I think it was December. Back in December, I got I had an interview with somebody very close to the family, in the Wilder family, okay? And it was like 2 hours. And I had it, and I had this interview, and it's bad. Someone in my family, stole my damn device. They stole the device it was on. I had it on a laptop. Not a laptop, but it's getting dark out here. Kurt also consider that Bakole was hit on the temples. It's hard to eat those. Yeah, I know. Will knock you all off balance. See, Tyson Fury knew exactly where to hit Wilder. He had that boy on Queer Street. Parker fought an older Wilder who had diminished in power, then fought Zhang, who was older and fades in late rounds, then fought an untrained fat, just got off the plane, Bakole. How great is Parker? Well, that's a good question. You know, I think that's why I want to see him versus Dubois. Because that's a fight I think we need, people. I think we need to see Parker versus Dubois. You know what I mean? We've already seen Dubois versus Joshua. We've seen that shit. Joshua may do a little better, but if he gets beat, it will be a waste of time, won't it? People will get paid because they're prize fighters, but what does it do for boxing? Nothing. It does shit for boxing. We've already seen Dubois beat Joshua. We've already seen Usyk make Dubois quit. I don't want to see those fights no more, bro. I'm wanting new, fresh fights. That's personally my preference. Now, you guys can want those big, high price fights. I'm sick of them, honestly. Because after the undisputed showdown between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, I don't give two shits about, oh, Tyson versus Joshua. Bro, if they would have fought a long time ago. Okay? Even Deontay Wilder versus Joshua, I mean, okay, it could happen, but if it don't happen, are we going to cry about it now? No, it's over. It's over, bro. You know what I mean? I want to see fights with fighters that have fresh challenges, that have fresh skills, that are dangerous right now. Not has-beens, not former whatevers. I want to see the fresh new fighters fight each other. So if you claim to be the best right now, I want to see you guys fight. I don't want to see rematches that we've already seen definite winners. I don't want to see those shits no more. Will I cover it? Sure, because it's my job. But I'm telling you guys, what I prefer to see Parker versus Dubois because that's a fresh fight. Parker's a revived fighter, and he's showing people, and he wants to show people that he's one of the best in the world, so give him that opportunity. Period. I'm tired of these, oh man, Joshua fighting Tyson. I could give two shits. Tyson is somewhere drinking a beer, you know, training his wife Paris right now, which is nothing wrong with that because he's retired. Leave that man alone. He could sniff on a snake rail of cocaine. I don't care what he does right now. Joshua is living his best life. He has millions in the bank. He's smiling ear to ear. Shit, you would thought he won that fight with Dubois. So I don't really care about any of those. Like, as far as this goes, who's hot right now that can give us entertaining fights right now? Joseph Parker, Moses Atoma, Martin Bakole. I'll get Cabello because he got beat convincingly this time. Who else? Who else is out there? You know what I mean? Everyone else that's hot right now. I want to see hot fighters. I want to see these guys. Daniel Dubois, hot fighter. Not the most charismatic, but so what? You know? So it is what it is. Fabio Wardley. I want to see what Fraser Clark can do, but he got his jaw broken. That was kind of scary, honestly. That was kind of scary, bro. That was some scary shit. That was some scary shit, man. That dude's jaw. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, yeah, he's done. And he got, oh, God, I just think about it. It's bad, bro. He broke his damn jaw socket. Draw line shot like this. Yeah, he sounded like 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? You need to go and give me some soup. And I want some catfish, you know, I can just, you know, suck through the straw, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, he's bad off, bro. Caballo versus Parker. Yep, let's have it. How about Bakole versus Zhang, the losers, the big giants? Whoever wins goes and moves forward. Whoever wins becomes the number one in the IBF. You know? Kurt, the whole Fabio Worley versus Caballo. Let's see it. Let's see that fight. Let's see what Fabio can do. I mean, it's either now or never, man. Let Turkey get these fights together. Jumpstart this shit. Fabio versus Caballo, because nobody's trying to fight Caballo. Nobody's trying to give him an opportunity right now. They seen what he just did to Zhang. They don't want that same thing. They don't want the same song. Because they know if they go in there and they fight him, you think they're going to put Dubois in there with Caballo now, seeing what he did to Zhang? Hell no. You think Parker wants that fight when he's the WBO? Hell no. They don't want that because they're in position right now. I'll tell you what. How about let's throw Philip Hrgovic in with Fabio Wardley. Let's get Philip Hrgovic back in here. Throw him back in the loop. He only lost once. He beat Mike or Mark Damori, whoever the hell he is, right? Let's get him. Let's get him back in the rep. Just get him back in there. Or guess what? Philip, you want to take on Fabio Wardley? Let's do it. Let's do it. But Fabio ain't going to fight Caballo. They've seen that fight, and they've seen what could happen to them. And they're saying, no, you better watch out for that dude, because we seen this dude take Zhang's best two punches, that straight left, that right hook, and his ass kept on coming with body blows until Zhang's ass shit himself. It won't be me. No. Caballo is the new boogeyman. Make no mistake about it. He is the new boogeyman. He's just too nice. If he was a mean motherfucker, if Caballo was mean and brash and loud and rude, do you understand what kind of selling power? If he was like a Ricardo Mayorga type cat, which he's not, but if he was that, he would be absolutely marketable and people would want to see him more, because a lot of people would not like him because he was busting people and he starts calling y'all kind of whatevers and whatevers and whatevers. Filth, floor and filth. Big Baby Miller versus Caballo. I think he stops Miller. But here's the thing. That would be a war because, well, Caballo can move. Caballo's a good boxer. Caballo knows how to take a stop and take a walk around the park and then come back. He knows how to do that. Whereas Jarrell, he's going to try to walk you down. So he's similar to Zhilei Zhang. He's just not as big, height-wise. You know what I mean? But Jarrell has that flab, and Jarrell can fight. And Jarrell can take shots as well. So it'll be a banging fight. If Jarrell can't take those punches to the body, his ass is toast too. Period. Because I thought, well, Zhilei Zhang got a pot belly, so he can take those shots. Bro, Caballo busted that belly up, bro. He separated that stomach. He did surgery on that belly of Zhang. Understand, he did surgery on Zhilei Zhang. That shit was all kind of ways. Luis Ortiz, yeah, he would whoop Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, that's my guy. Another avoided fighter until they aged him out. He's finished. He's finished. I hate that for him, but he's done, okay? Luis Ortiz is done. Sure, I would love for him to get a payday because that's all he knows. You give him a payday for $5 million, you've saved his life. And for the record, I don't think Al Heyman gave him $7 million to fight Deontay Wilder in the second fight. I don't believe it because he was too hungry for another fight the following year in 2019. Or should I say 2020. He wanted to fight Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz ducked him. Zhang probably pissing blood. Yeah, he probably is. That dude busted up his kidneys, his liver, his fucking gallbladder, his pancreas. Man, he did surgery on Zhang, people. I'm telling you, I get Kabayel did surgery on Zhilei Zhang. The way he went to that dude's body systematically, I'm going to watch it when I get back in. I'm going to watch it when I get back in. Because the way he did that, man, he did that shit. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. He was going to that dude's body. Bro, that shit sounded like popcorn. Popping in the microwave. But Dubois has power. He can beat Kabayel. It's a heavyweight. If he can catch him. But he has to keep in mind, you know something? I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. If Daniel Dubois, and this is the thing about Dubois, if Dubois can't hurt you and you keep moving forward, you're going to make him quit. Because Daniel Dubois is a guy, he's mentally not there. And I'm going to tell you this, and listen to me very carefully. It's 55 minutes and 58 seconds because I'm about to be off of here. If I get Kabayel fights Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois can't hurt Kabayel, if he can't hurt him or knock him out, if he can't do that, Kabayel will stop Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois, it will stop him because Daniel will quit. Yeah. Mark my words. Daniel Dubois will quit against Kabayel if he can't hurt Kabayel. See, he quit against Usyk because he couldn't catch Usyk. Because Usyk was just too good. Okay? He beat Hrgovic because they stopped it because of the cuts. He just knocked out AJ. Okay? Jarrell Miller, he fought Jarrell Miller because he needed to, because his career was on the line. But Jarrell Miller ran out of gas. So he didn't have anything to offer Daniel Dubois. I'm telling you, if Daniel Dubois fights I get Kabayel and he cannot knock him out, people, Kabayel is going to make Daniel quit from body shots. And then what's going to happen, it's either the body shots are going to make him stop and take a knee like Colin Kaepernick, or he's going to get tired of getting hit. Because Kabayel is nothing like Hrgovic. He's nothing like that. Kabayel knows how to step back, move, jab, jab his way in, work the right hand, then go right to the body, then come upstairs, then step back out of position, and then step to the left or to the right to repeat the process. That's how I get Kabayel. But he's always going to your body because he's invested in it. He's tree chopping you. Yes, I'm telling you guys that right now. I get Kabayel, and Frank Warren knows that. He knows there's no way I'm going to let my premier fighters fight each other. I get Kabayel with anybody else, and some other, one of Eddie's guys. Let them be a sacrificial lamb, but he's not going to let Daniel go in there. Now, I will give Daniel 100% respect if he did take that fight with Kabayel. But he's shooting and he's fighting for, the undisputed fight, which I can't be mad at. But I've already saw it. So me personally, I don't care to watch that fight. Look, I've seen he can't beat Usyk. Joshua can't beat Usyk. Fury can't beat Usyk. Joyce can't beat Usyk. They can't beat Usyk because they've already tried. And they came up short. That's it. That's it. So, hey guys, Bart Bakole, he needs to get back. I hope this loss has motivated him. I hope it's motivated him. I hope he now knows, hey, I should and shouldn't have never been that big, being a career professional athlete. And I'm going to get my ass in the gym. Even when I mop up Effie Ajagba, God willing he does, he's still going to stay in shape for the next fight. Because if he's in good graces with Turkey and Turkey knows that he can call him on the fly, why not do it again? So why not be in shape this time? So I think Mark Bakole is still that guy. He might have lost some credibility, but let's hope he gets fights now. Let's hope people think all I got to do is hit him in the temple. Let me fight Bakole and let Bakole show and prove them wrong. So that's my counterpunch on Mark Bakole, guys. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. God bless. See you tomorrow. We will talk about more boxing in the AM. Of course, please subscribe. And all of you guys have been Counterpunch. Peace.